Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about Kostas' work, and I guess I want to start again by congratulating Kostas. He's won the Nevanlinna Prize for his work on computational complexity of fundamental problems in markets and economics in general. I'm going to pick out two lines of work that he's talking about. First, I'm going to talk about limits on efficient computability, and then a little bit about efficient algorithms. Both are areas that he contributed significant new insights. There are other aspects of his work that I'm not going to have time to mention everything. So let's start with what I mean by computational complexity. So complexity's goal is to characterize what are problems that are efficiently solvable, and this comes in two parts: defining efficient algorithms and trying to show that certain things, there is no efficient algorithms that solve such problems. What I mean efficient here is a mathematical definition of efficient. This is usually called polynomial time, and the definition is that the time it takes to solve the problem should be polynomial in the length of the problem description. So if the problem is described in an input length n, then it should be solvable in n to the c time for some constant c. This is what mathematically we call efficiently computable. Maybe the most important, or definitely the most important big problem out there is the P versus NP conjecture. So NP is a bigger class. It's a class of problems that can be checked by polynomial time. The way you should think about it is exactly the distinction between proving interesting things versus checking someone else's proof. Checking, once the proof is given, is clearly an easier task than coming up with the proof yourself. And the question here is, can we solve anything where the solution can be checked efficiently? Does it automatically imply that there is a possibly somewhat more complicated algorithm that comes up with that proof? This is one of the 1 million Millennium Prize problems, and unfortunately it still stays as open as it was when it was stated. Maybe another fact about these problems that are hopefully known for many of you, that there are some classical, many hardest problems. They call NP-complete, and that means each one of them is a single hardest problem in NP. And what that means, that one way to actually prove that, for example, P equals NP, is to take any of these NP-complete problems and give an efficient algorithm for them. If you did that, because they are by proof, one of the hardest problems in NP, they solves the problem and would solve that P equals NP. So this is sort of the complexity landscape. The other part of the title that I have to explain to you is what I mean by economic problems. And there are multiple economic problems, as the prize citation actually listed some. I'm going to focus on a single economic problem, or single problem used a lot in economics, is Nash equilibrium. So Nash proved in 1950 that every finite game has a Nash equilibrium, hence the name Nash equilibrium. A finite game here refers to a game where the finite number of players, each of them have a finite set of options or strategies that they can play, and maybe they have some payoff. I guess I will call them utility in this talk, depending on what everyone else is doing. So S here is a vector of all possible strategies that everyone is doing, and UI of X is the payoff for player I if the set of players chose this strategy vector S collectively. And equilibrium is this stable strategy where none of them have regret over the choices they make, and mathematically this comes out to this inequality that I wrote up here, which is that given the utility they're gaining for the strategy they chose, there is no other strategy that they think as SI prime that they can single-handedly deviate and would get a better outcome. So S minus I is a notation often used in the game theory community by meaning that the strategy vector of everyone except for player I. So maybe a shorthand is that each player is best responding to the strategies of all other players. And then what Nash proved is not that every game has in strategy choices has a Nash equilibrium, but instead in randomized strategies. That is, if they randomize the strategy, then every game will have a Nash equilibrium. I assume most of you have seen Nash equilibria in games, but just to make sure we're all on the same page, maybe some simplest classical game that we all tend to use as an example of game is rock, paper, scissors. In the rock, paper, scissors payoff, it's a zero-sum game. It's either I win or the opponent wins. The payoffs are 1 and -1. A strategy here is a member of the simplex, or the possible strategy space gives you probabilities of playing rock, paper, scissors. For example, you can play 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 for each of them. And what Nash proved is that this game and every other game has a randomized strategy profile that's a Nash equilibrium. The way this is sort of key to economic theory is that Nash equilibria, or games generally, are used to virtually all economic areas. They usually model economic interactions. The players here are companies, they're people, and the assumption is that our economy, our markets, our people as they behave, they reach a Nash equilibrium of this game, and then this Nash equilibrium is used as a predictor of how things will behave. So if the government puts in new taxes, then instead of figuring out what the immediate impact of the taxes are, you're interested what will be the long-term impact, and that happens as hopefully people reach a Nash equilibrium. The question that one should ask, and certainly the question Kostas asked, is do we expect these players to find the Nash equilibrium, whether they're companies or people? And the basic answer to this question is that it does seem difficult to find Nash equilibrium. So to come from the beginning, the question we're asking is, can it be computed efficiently? And indeed, there's a long history of not computing, not succeeding in computing efficiently. There are algorithms known, I'm listing some here, but over the 60+ years of research, none of them turn out to be efficient algorithms. As a gut reaction to something being hard, and thinking in theoretical computer science terms, one would say, okay, it must be NP-complete. So unfortunately, the first thing I have to tell you that it seems not to be NP-complete. So NP-complete are these hard decision problems I mentioned earlier, but usually the way we prove NP-completeness is by identifying a clear decision problem. Like, for example, integer programming, as the example above, is asking whether this particular integer program has a solution or doesn't have a solution. That's a famous NP-complete problem. Or does a graph have a Hamiltonian cycle? All are decision problems. And in the case of Nash equilibrium, there isn't a clear decision problem. Namely, Nash proved that it exists. So if you ask, is there a Nash equilibrium? The answer is yes. There are other more complexity theoretic explanation that if it was NP-complete, it would imply that NP equals co-NP. So there we have some evidence that it's not NP-complete. Another thing I might want to tell you is, okay, actually Nash proved that Nash equilibrium exists. Can't we just copy Nash's proof and thereby design an algorithm? So the first thing I have to tell you that somehow apparently Nash's proof is not algorithmic. The way Nash proved that Nash equilibrium exists was based on Breyer's fixed point theorem. So Breyer's fixed point theorem states that over a compact space, any continuous function will have a fixed point, that is a point where f of x equals x. And indeed, his proof was actually constructive except for Breyer's fixed point theorem. The original proof for Breyer's fixed point theorem was not only not algorithmic, it wasn't even constructive. But since then, we do have constructive proofs of Breyer's fixed point theorem, but no efficient algorithms. So you can ask the same question about fixed points. Is finding a fixed point NP-complete? And for the very same reason, you can be suspicious that that too is not NP-complete. Among others, my one-liner reason is that, again, there is no clear decision question here. Fixed points do exist, you just have to find them. So instead, what Kostas proved that it's Nash equilibrium is complete for a different class, the class called PPAD, invented by Papadimitriou in '94. And PPAD is a class inside NP that's actually very designed exactly for this purpose. It's based on a lot of these arguments where the solution must exist are based on this very, very simple fact. I quote it here, that if any graph, and I'm thinking here a directed graph, has an imbalanced node like V, where odd degree is bigger than in degree, then it must have another node where the in degree is bigger than odd degree. That's simply because the sum of the in degrees is the number of edges, and so is the sum of the odd degrees. This class PPAD is somewhere between P and NP, and again we have good evidence that they don't touch the NP-complete part. The Breyer fixed point theorem proof, I guess Scarf's proof, actually through allowed us to put Breyer's fixed point in PPAD. The argument is basically out of this parity argument. And in '94, when Christos Papadimitriou originally introduced this class, he proved that PPAD class, that finding fixed points is actually PPAD complete. So there is this special class PPAD complete classes, and like NP-complete, something showing PPAD complete is actually a pretty good evidence that it's not going to be efficiently solvable. So, but Kostas's main direction is showing the complexity of Nash equilibria. That's indeed showing that Nash equilibria is PPAD complete. It's effectively showing a reverse of the proof. It says that it's as hard as any fixed point theorem, if finding fixed points in any fixed point theorem. And that's literally how the proof goes. One would naturally think, and I, as a person in the field, definitely did think before Kostas started to work on this, that, yeah, equilibria in games are very special. They're not going to be as general as fixed points. But apparently we were wrong, and they proved that it does have a fixed point. That you can reverse this equivalence. To give you a quick vignette of the proof, it starts by proving that it's equivalent to the fixed point theorem if you think of only fixed points of functions that are very simple Boolean operations, that are functions that are simply computable with plus, minus, comparison, and very elementary functions. And then what they do is build up a very complicated game, step by step, basically saying that every arithmetic operation can be modeled by a game. To give you just a little sense of how that goes, if I want to model the plus operation, I somehow already imagine I have two players that somehow I imagine they're going to have some x and y as a probability that they take an action in the Nash equilibrium, and I want to construct an extra player, a third player, who's, I know in any Nash equilibrium is going to have probability of his action exactly x plus y. This is modeling an AND operation, and similar things can be worked out for plus and every other operation, and then finally can compose it to become a complicated game. So the main theorem, and that's actually joint work with Goldberg and Papadimitriou, is that Nash equilibrium is PPAD complete via this reduction. In fact, since then, we have made further progress here, both in already two-player games, that not only you can't find the Nash equilibrium, you can't even approximate the Nash equilibrium. And I guess what this says, that this general universality of economic theory, that we're just going to have to study the Nash equilibria to understand economies, does put you in question. Like, if it's not computable, the economy won't compute it either. Companies won't be able to compute it, and humans won't be able to compute it. What maybe is hopeful here, and that's certainly an interesting direction for further research, is that special classes of games might actually fare better here, and maybe it's viable that they find Nash equilibria. You're going to hear a bit more about, a lot more about this in Kostas' talk this afternoon. I want to spend my remaining couple minutes on at least give you a rough sense of what's going on the other side, the algorithmic side. So mechanism design, which is the other area of the algorithmic side of Kostas' contribution, often called reverse game theory. Reverse game theory means that we're designing the games to have good outcomes. And maybe the classical reverse game simple example is a single item auction. In my picture, you're supposed to want to have that box, and these people have values for the box. And two general settings that are well studied here is either you want to maximize welfare, that is, one who just hand the box over to the person that values it most. The famous Vickery's second price is the auction is the famous solution for this. The alternate goal, which is what I'm going to focus on, is you don't actually care about who gets the box, but you want to make as much money as possible. And in the single item case, Meyerson in 81 invented a very similar mechanism, simply setting a reserve price, which maximizes revenue. The second one is the direction that Kostas' mechanism design works goes into. I'm going to skip my slide on welfare to obey the time limit I'm seeing here. So what is the problem with auctions when you want to maximize revenue? That apparently we only really understand it well in a bit of essentially in single item style auctions. Technically, Meyer extended it when it's not a single item, but you still have a single number, your value for this thing as the value. And in fact, it's challenging to do it in a super simple case. There's only one bidder facing you, and there are two independent items, and yet, despite an immensely large body of literature, before Kostas' work, we had no idea how to optimally extract revenue. In fact, if you remember Kostas' little video at the introduction of the prize, he does mention this special case of selling one item, possibly two items to one buyer. And maximizing revenue was not known before his work. What his work does is a sequence of papers. He offers a general reduction from mechanism design to optimization. The important part here to understand that in the case of mechanism design, that is in auctions, the value is a secret parameter I have or the buyers have, and you have to design your mechanisms so that they will admit their value or you can extract the value for them. In contrast, in optimization, everything is out in the open. And second, in some even more special cases, he often offers a closed form description that contains the one bidder, two independent item special case. I only want to give you a really, really short vignette to help you understand what it might mean that you turn something in a pure optimization from a mechanism design setting. And that's maybe the simplest way to do this, and that way it becomes an insanely large linear program, is you put in variables for every possible value combinations the players might have. So remember, V here was a possible value combination of all the players, and I put in linear programming variables for the probability that item I will go to person the item will go to person I, as much as the probability of how much he might pay, that's called PIV and VIW, and then I claim I can write everything down as a linear program, including the incentives.
The last complicated line basically says that if you have value vi, you're not tempted to pretend you have some other value v minus I. The trouble with this is that this is an insanely large linear program, definitely exponential in the number of players. So what the proof vignette continues, and I see I'm essentially out of time, is to project this exponentially big space onto a polynomial space and then try to characterize how to optimize over the space, but I'm going to skip the details. So in conclusion, like I guess one beautiful connection that I meant to mention, and sorry, it was on the previous slide, is that one of the things he used in this is an extension of transport theory, and it was really nice that one of the Fats Medalvinos is about transport theory, so we saw a nice introduction to that. And what Costas is needed is a version of transport theory with a kind of convexity constraints that's coming in because of having to maintain the incentive constraints. So this is maybe end of what I'm saying technically, and I guess Costas identified the computational complexity of Nash equilibrium. He designed multidimensional mechanisms, and both directions basically transformed our understanding of the computational complexity of many economic problems. And congratulate Costas again. Thank you.